G'day everyone, the Climate Change Guy here with a preview of my 3 blogs for Monday the 1st of June 2015. Hope you had a great weekend, and it's hard to believe that it's June already, but I guess that's another story. So the 3 blogs I have for you, one looks at a bid by London to become the clean tech version of Silicon Valley in California in the US, and what that means for the clean tech industry right throughout Europe, and the types of projects they'll be looking to attract, the types of people they'll be looking to attract, and how they're going to grow the investment in East London, which has been identified as the main focus area, but also obviously throughout the rest of Europe. Second blog looks at some very strident remarks by the French Environment Minister in the lead up to Paris, reminding us all that poorer nations will be essentially relying on the richer nations to ink an equitable and reasonable deal that takes their issues and concerns into consideration, given that they're the first to be, or the most vulnerable to climate change. And lastly, the third blog looks at a call, if you like, to financial institutions to take climate change into account when they're looking at financing projects, and make sure that potential or people seeking finance for their projects take climate change into account realistically and transparently. So as I said, the first blog looks at a bid by East London and the London Sustainability Committee to become the clean tech version of Silicon Valley in the United States, and they've identified an area in East London that's already grown quite a lot in the last few years, and they're looking to target investment into that area, attract the best and brightest and the greenest and the cleanest, and also to be a hub not only for UK but also for all of Europe. So that's a bold plan, an ambitious plan, but I think you'll find when you read it, it's one that we could basically cookie cut, if you like, and implement in a number of cities around the world. Second blog looks at the French Environment Minister making some very direct and blunt comments, quite frankly, to the richer or more developed nations, that the poorer nations are basically relying on you to come up with the goods in Paris, and to make the plan equitable for the poorer nations as well, making sure that their needs are taken into account and that they feel that they are actually valued and respected. So she's made some very interesting comments in there. I think you'll find them challenging, and I think you'll find though that they do resonate, and I think she's got a point in a lot of what she says. Last blog looks at a call, if you like, to financiers and finance houses that back projects to make sure that people that are looking for funding actually account for climate change in their actual growth plans, in terms of their supply chains, in terms of their logistics, right throughout their business, to make sure that if a project is being funded, or if a finance house is being involved, that finance house can assure themselves that the company or the corporation has actually figured climate change into the plans, and can see a way forward, or a roadmap, if you like, for how those plans, or how those plans related to climate change specifically, are going to be managed. Again, I think you'll find that quite interesting. I certainly did when I was researching it. There's some quite bold statements in there, but I think with an issue like climate change, we have to be bold. We can't afford to sit on the fence and just ponder. We actually have to do things, and we have to do them now. Paris is definitely coming up 6 months or so time, and it's becoming viewed by a lot of people as the last chance the world has to actually do something logical and sustainable to make Earth a livable planet. So I think we'd all agree that's quite an important thing to get done. Once again, I'd like to thank you for your time. Hope you enjoy reading the blogs and engaging with each other and giving me feedback. I certainly appreciate it. Thanks very much for your time, and have a great week.